We've reached the part of the podcast where we're talking some Churchill Downs, and who better to come on than Trey, aka T-Server24 on X. Trey, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
No complaints, dude. You know, summertime in Chicago, dude. Got the street festival in town this weekend. You know, gonna go out this weekend, make some bad decisions. Always a good time. Always a good time. Always
good to hear.
So those. Well, before we jump into all that, you know, Trey is going to share two bets from Churchill on Saturday. Thought on the Preakness, not on the Preakness, Jesus, on the Belmont, the situation with them canceling all the pick fives because of the weather issues.
Yeah, it obviously hurt the pick fives because they canceled the two races and then they couldn't. For whatever reason, I'll never understand, because today's day and age, I feel like with the tote system, they could just reorganize it real quick and still have pick fours, pick fives. But they canceled those two races and they basically lost all the wagering opportunities. And I had the pick five picked if it would have stayed on the same day, but you didn't get the chance to do so. So it kind of sucked, to be honest.
Now, Sovereignty won.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that horse rank right now? Like, are you you know what I mean? Like, when we look at the past 3-year-old crop, where would you rank this horse?
If you're talking about this year's crop, he's obviously number one.
No, I'm talking like the last 5 years.
Well, I'm trying to see next. I mean, he obviously won the Derby, won the Belmont. He's got to be up there. Off the top of my head, you're catching me off guard. I can't think of who would be good horses coming out of there. I mean, Mystic Dan obviously won last year. Hadn't really done anything until he just won recently at Churchill. The Long Shot won Rich Strike a couple years ago, and he didn't do much after that. And try to go back farther, I came thinking about who won earlier before that. So,
where are we going to see Sovereignty next?
I would imagine he'll stay in Saratoga. So he's going to be the Jim Dandy or the Travers.
Are we going to see him at the Breeders' Club?
If all goes accordingly, yes, I would. No doubts.
Let's jump right over to Churchill Downs. Not really the sexiest race card, but sometimes those race cards offer the funnest payouts.
Yeah, very true.
Let's jump right into it. We're going to start with the featured race, which is race 10, the Chorley Wood Stakes. You got a long shot here, my man. Tell us where your head is.
Yeah, so the only reason I'm thinking about this, Utah Beach is probably going to go off favorite. Rebel Red will probably go second choice. That horse actually lost the jockey and stumbled pretty badly in that race. So it's a blessing that this horse is even running again. But Highway Robber was entered in one of those races at Belmont Park, scratched out of there. So I'm not sure if was meant to go for one of maybe this race, or they just, obviously with the rain, et cetera, they just kind of change of plans. But at 15-1, I'm going to give this horse a big shot. I like the jockey, and it's coming back second off the layoff and comes from the clouds, and it looks like there's quite a bit of pace in a long race like this. So hoping to blow up the board a little bit.
I mean, getting a 15-1 would be great. Is there one thing I always like to ask, because I'm a numbers guy, is there if this gets down to 8-1, 7-1, is there a price point that you wouldn't bet Highway Robbery?
Well, obviously, I think if he would go down to 3, 4, 5-1, loses a big value. But if you're playing pick 4, pick 5, and obviously this is going to be the last leg, you get that point. I think it's going to be paying 4 or 5 times more than it would, say, the favorite or second choice.
Now, how can I word this? If he's higher than 10-1, would you play him across the board?
Yes.
Okay. At what price point would you not play him across the board?
Honestly, I think you'd get value if he was 5, 6-1, even though I know I said don't bet him if he gets that low, but I honestly don't project that to happen. Now, if he happened to something would happen, it's potentially going to rain on Saturday. So say that the rain causes half the card to scratch or something like that, and he stays in the race and he goes favorite. I couldn't play him at that point.
Now, if it does rain and he does run, would you still play him?
If they kept it on the turf, yes. Now, obviously, if they take it off the turf and put it on the main track, I haven't looked at it close enough to see the off-track form, but probably be a total pass even day for me if they don't run the turf races like they projected they're going to do.
Now, let's shift our attention over to your best bets. For the best bet, we are going to, I believe you said race number 8.
That's correct.
Race number 8. Tell us what your best bet is, my friend.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to number 7, Mo Expectations. It's a first-time starter for Stone Street Stables and Brad Cox. Manny Franco is going to take the mount. And I actually kind of looked at this race as if potentially it's going to rain. It's supposed to be on the turf. So obviously, if they have to take it off because of the wet conditions, this horse has a huge wet dirt pedigree. Been working very well, and I'm just projecting, like I said, that may happen. So we're gonna go there and say that's gonna be my best bet.
Now, earlier in the card on race 5, we had the Monomy Girl overnight stakes. We have a horse returning. You want to talk about her, so why don't you go ahead and talk about her?
Yeah, so my best bet, if you wanted to say, would be Immersive, who's coming off a long layoff, got injured last year, injured at the beginning of this year, wasn't able to run in the Oaks or any of that. And Good Cheer, her stablemate, ended up winning the Oaks, obviously. This horse won the Breeders' Cup last year. Huge talent. This particular field has some nice horses, but if this horse runs her race, should win. And I'm just looking forward to getting her back on the track and seeing what she could do, because I think she could be one you could see later down the road, and potentially even like the Breeders' Cup, like you mentioned before.
So this would be the single in the early pick 5.
Yeah, I would say you'd have to, because I looked at some of the other races, and I can't remember, maybe the second or third race. They've got 5 or 6 horses. The next race only has 5 or 6 horses. So I would not be a fan of betting those unless, like I said, you want a single Immersive.
Trey, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your day, coming on, talking a little horse racing. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and everything?
Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, I'm on X at tserver24. I haven't been doing lately the First Wire podcast, but that is something I have been doing for Keeneland, and we did it for the Derby and the Preakness. Wasn't able to do it for the Belmont, but I'm looking forward to getting Saratoga started here in a few weeks in Ellis Park, and try to be more involved again. So, yeah, definitely look me up on X.
Ellis Park. Ellis Park is one of those sneaky tracks I kind of want to go to because I think I could have a lot of fun there. Have you ever been there?
I have. Yeah, the P patch, as they call it, is an old school track, and it's a lot of fun.
Best of luck in your bets, man. Make sure to give this guy a follow. If he ever tweets out what he bets, I'll make sure that I retweet it. This guy, how can I word this? He's very good at pick 5s. He sends them to me after he wins. I'm telling him he needs to start posting them. So make sure you give him a follow. Make sure you follow these bets. We'll be back next week. Best of luck, my man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate having me on.